Hello everyone, I am back and I am here to begin reading chapter 21. Undeniably Rigged Collegiate and Professional Sports. My name is Vanessa. The name of my channel is called Gnostic Knowledge. And what I am doing on this channel is reading a book. The name of that book is called Letters and Numbers, written by Zachry Hubbard. And this is one of the most phenomenal books, or if not the most phenomenal book you will ever read that I've ever read. And the information in this book is just fantastic. It is, oh my God, mind-blowing, eye-opening. You can get a copy of this book by visiting Zachry Hubbard's YouTube channels, Gematria Effect News or Gematria Effect Sports. In the description of each of his videos, he leaves a link for this book, and the book is priced at $5. It is a PDF file and it will come to you via email. So once you purchase the book and receive your email, be sure to save the book to the hard drive of your computer, laptop, tablet, phone, so that you can have access to the book at all times. He left the copyright off this book so that you could take it to a local bindery, email it to them or what have you, and they will bind it into a book for your own personal library. You can upload it to lulu.com and they will bind it, and this company will bind it into a book for you as well. You could print the book out for yourself if you like, but keeping it in the electronic file format is really good because there's over 700 pages in this book, and looking for information within the book in this format makes it really easy to find information. So but do yourself a favor, get this book, get this knowledge, learn it. That's why I'm reading this book, for people who may not have time to read, or would rather listen to an audio version of a book. But this book in particular, I feel so strongly about the information in it that every man, woman, and child that is not a part of the cabal, they need to know this information. It is, as silly as it may sound, this code is simply brilliant and evil. It is just so, my God, such lies that we've been told. Zachry Hubbard also wrote a second book, which is a continuation of Letters and Numbers, pretty much, because gematria is used every day. And this is the book, Number Games. It is available now on Amazon for a pre-order. And as you can see, it is a physical book, and that's the young man that wrote the book, Zachry Hubbard. You can pre-order this book now on Amazon. Number Games 9/11 to Coronavirus. And the information in this book is mind-blowing as well. This book will be released on October 13th via Amazon. And if you don't want to order it from Amazon, you can order it directly from Zachry Hubbard by visiting his blog page, gematriaeffectnews.blogspot.com. And the first thing you'll see when you arrive at that page is the advertising for the book and instructions as you scroll down on how to purchase the book within the United States and abroad. Be sure to read the blog post that he puts on this page. He has a previous blog page called freetofindtruth.blogspot.com, and this he's been blogging there for over 5 years. So it's just a massive amount of content, proof, because this is not something you have to believe in. This is something you can prove to yourself. Oh my goodness, I can't, just read the information. It is that mind-blowing. Okay, so, and with that said, watch his videos as well. The one that I watch the most is the two of the videos he did on Kobe Bryant, the day Kobe Bryant passed, and then there's another video that he's produced, and you can find that video in his playlist, and it's asking the question, is Kobe Bryant even really dead? It's amazing the information that you can or conclusions that you could come to just by knowing this code. There's something very just sick about this whole thing. But anyway, with that said, I am going to be reading chapter 21. Finally got through chapter 20, man, and that, oh man, the number 38, 187, oh my God, those numbers come up over and over again. And once you understand what gematria is and what the symbology of these numbers are, what they represent, you'll see. Just be sure to read the book and understand what gematria is. And if I didn't say so, gematria is the encoding of numbers within our letters and words. Every word we speak has a numerical value. And once you know how gematria operates, you can craft things based on words that only the elite will know what you're trying to convey. So yes, teach yourself this knowledge. Well, Zachry K. Hubbard is teaching it to us. He gives it to us, spoon feeds it to us with this book. This book is awesome. So with that said, moving right along, I will be on page 697. And once again, chapter 21, Undeniably Rigged Collegiate and Professional Sports. Remember how we began chapter 1 by talking about the significance of 26? Jordan equates to 26, reduction. Bryant equates to 26 in reduction. Athlete equates to 26 in reduction. Sports equates to 26 in reduction. Okay? In this world, sports are God for many people. And in my lifetime, two of the most celebrated athletes have been Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant of the National Basketball Association. Personally, I was never a fan of either of these men because I witnessed how they were treated differently than any other players by the referees, who clearly favored them and treated them in a sense as if they were gods. It was always easy to observe that the games they played in revolved around them, and the commentators and referees were sure to make sure that was understood by the audience every time they were on the court. To me, watching them was more like watching a predetermined performance than an actual athletic competition. What I thought was the case as a youth is something I can now prove by knowing and applying the code. We'll begin this chapter by making an undeniable case about how Michael Jordan's and Kobe Bryant's careers were scripted in tribute to one another. And from there, we will expand on how the scripting of careers is not just true of Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, but all of the world of professional sports, as well as collegiate sports in some instances, and sometimes even high school. Wow. To begin, if I told you Michael Jordan played his last NBA game April 16th, 2003, exactly 678 weeks to the day before Kobe Bryant played his last game April 13th, 2016, you might respond, so what? Okay. The answer to that question would be, well, in Sumerian gematria, both Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant sum to 678. At the same time, so does Utah Jazz, the only team in the league that does so. And Kobe played his last game against the Utah Jazz, excuse me, similar to how Michael Jordan once temporarily quit basketball after defeating the Utah Jazz in the NBA Finals. Even more, Kobe Bryant wrote a highly publicized poem. Excuse me, I'm just caught in my throat. Sorry about that. Even more, Kobe Bryant wrote a highly publicized poem called Dear Basketball, summing to 678 in Sumerian, which explained why he was retiring from the NBA and the game he loved. So, Michael Jordan equates to 113 in ordinal cipher. Kobe Bryant equates to 113 in the ordinal. Utah Jazz 113 in the ordinal. Dear Basketball equates to 113 in the ordinal cipher as well. Crazy. Sumerian gematria is ordinal times 6. Thus, 113 times 6 equates to 678. 678. The National Basketball Association equates to 113 in the reduction cipher. Okay? January 13th, 1999, the date of Jordan's second retirement. 113.99, you would add 1 plus 13 plus 99 equates to 113. Okay, continuing with the pattern of 678. On the same day Kobe Bryant played his last game, the Golden State Warriors, who Kobe's father once played for, eclipsed Michael Jordan's win record, winning a record 73 games, beating Jordan's record of 72. The two star players on that Warriors team were Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson, and they concluded the regular season on the same day Kobe finished his career, combining for a new NBA record, 678 three-pointers made in a season by two teammates. Wow. Making matters even more interesting, the year Jordan set the win record, he faced Stephen Curry's father, Dale Curry, in his 73rd game. Consider, Stephen Curry was born on the 73rd day of the year, and Stephen Curry sums to 73 in reduction when S is counted for 10. At the same time, number sums to 73 in the ordinal gematria, and once again, Stephen Curry's birthday is March 14th, 1988. What is known as Pi Day. Stephen Curry was born in the year that the first Pi Day celebration began in 88. And 88 represents 4 circles, equals 4 circles. Wow. The other piece of this story that is fascinating is Kobe's father, Joe Jellybean Bryant, was drafted by the Golden State Warriors in 1975. 41 years before Kobe Bryant retired in 2016. Consider the name Kobe Bryant sums to 41 in reduction, same as Golden State. As you know, 41 is the 13th prime number, and Kobe was the 13th overall pick of the 1996 NBA draft by Charlotte before being traded to LA, having ordinal gematria of 13 and reverse ordinal gematria of 41. And it is just crazy because, in this book, Zachry Hubbard writes about Kobe Bryant's death, who died at 41, and his daughter died at the age of what? 13? Shit. Oh my goodness. Thus, it only made sense that he finished his career in LA on the 13th day of April. Also important is the fact Michael Jordan finished his career against the Philadelphia 76ers 13 years before Kobe, where Kobe Bryant grew up in Philadelphia, as did his father Joe Bryant, who played at LaSalle, the Catholic University in Philadelphia. And for one more 41, which should give you a laugh, Kobe Bryant was nominated for an Oscar on January 23rd, 2018, a span of 41 days before the Oscars, March 4th, 2018. The nomination wasn't for his scripted NBA career, but for the short animated film made about his poem, Dear Basketball. If you've seen the film, you know it begins with 13 seconds on the clock, as is shown in the picture, making matters even worse. Making matters even more humorous, he would win it, and I will show you that in a second here. So that's the clock with 13 seconds on how the his movie about his poem starts, and that's him getting his Oscar. Okay. Alrighty, moving right along. To go a bit deeper with the 13 riddle, the man born Kobe Bean Bryant, summing to 117 in reverse reduction, when E is counted for 22. He would have his number 8 and number 24 jerseys retired with the Los Angeles Lakers on December 18th, 2017, 117 days after his 39th birthday, August 23rd, 2017. As you have learned, 13 has reverse ordinal gematria of 117 when written as a word, okay? Better yet, December 18th leaves 13 days left in the year, similar to how August 23rd leaves 130 days left in the year, and you pay attention to the 13 because you don't pay attention to zeros in gematria, okay? It's amazing. And best of all, the word 2 has reduction gematria of 13, as in 2 jerseys for KB, initials summing to 13 in ordinal and 41 in reverse ordinal. Fittingly, that retirement ceremony was on a night where the Lakers were hosting the Golden State Warriors, which goes without saying. By the end of the night, the Warriors would pick up their 24th win of the season, winning by 2 points, not unlike Kobe retiring 2 jerseys, the larger number being 24. Wow. And if you want to go a bit deeper on the jerseys, the word 8 sums to 49 in ordinal, whereas 24, written as a word, sums to 49 in reverse reduction. Going with the building they were retired in, the Staples Center, summing to 49 in reduction, same as Warriors, who again were the opponent for the ceremony. Wow. So Staples Center equates to 49. Wow. Okay. If you can believe it, the riddle didn't stop there. Let us examine the gematria overlap with Kobe Bryant, Los Angeles Lakers, Golden State, Warriors, and Oakland, in light of how it factored into the retirement of 2 jerseys by Kobe. As we decode, keep in mind that in numerology terms, 58 breaks down to 5 plus 8 is 13. So does 49. And then from there, 1 plus 3 is 4. But it is the breakdown to 13 along the way that is key. So, Kobe Bryant equates to 58, and as we know, 5 plus 8 is 13. Los Angeles Lakers equates to 58. Golden State equates to 58. Warriors equates to 58. Oakland equates to 58. The word 2, TWO, equates to 58 in ordinal. And he had 2 jerseys retired. And I will show you the decode because I've failed to mention what ciphers they were in, but you could get a screenshot or just take a quick look to see the decodes in the 58s and then what cipher, like reverse reduction, ordinal reduction, as counted as 10, etc. Okay. For a few more 58, the name Moses Malone equates to 58 in reverse reduction. And in his NBA career for Philadelphia, he wore the number 2, TWO, but you know, the number 2. As we covered in the chapter on murder by numbers, Moses Malone dropped dead at age 60 in September 13th, 2015. 213 days before Kobe would finish his career with 60 points. And don't forget, the N word also equates to 60. And I will look that up really quickly so I can tell you what, I think it's in ordinal. Give me a second here. All right. Yes, the N word equates to 60 in the ordinal cipher. Alrighty. And here we go. I'm going to start over. For a few more 58, The name Moses Malone equates to 58 in reverse reduction. And in his NBA career for Philadelphia, he wore the number 2. As we covered in the chapter on murder by numbers, Moses Malone dropped dead at age 60, September 13th, 2015, 213 days before Kobe would finish his career with 60 points in the 213 area code. This was important because Malone was drafted out of high school, just like Kobe, and Malone began his career with Utah, summing to 58 in reverse ordinal, who Kobe finished his NBA career against. So, Moses Malone equates to 58, as he stated, reverse reduction. Utah equates to 58 in reverse ordinal. And I shall read a headline here. It says, Stephen Curry's record 3-point streak ends as Lakers stun Warriors. Curry's record streak of 157 games with a 3-pointer ends in 117-97 loss. Warriors scored just 15 points in the first quarter and never fully recovered. And in case, okay, now I'm going on with the reading. And just in case you're somehow doubting the meaning of these connections, or that Kobe Bryant and Stephen Curry, the sons of former NBA stars, same with Klay Thompson, were destined to have their careers cross, as we have shown, and in connection to Michael Jordan as covered, take a gander at the headline pictured, which I just read, where Stephen Curry had his 3-point streak end at 157 games while playing in the Staples Center, the home of the Los Angeles Lakers. Better yet, notice how the Lakers won with 117 points in that same game. So Staples Center equates to 157 in reverse ordinal. Kobe Bryant equates to 157 in reverse ordinal. Los Angeles equates to 37 in reduction. 157 is the 37th prime number. Wow. And on the subject of Kobe's Oscars nomination by the numbers and Hollywood, which of course is in Los Angeles, the numbers most definitely aligned for Kobe. They aligned for Kobe, as they do for a number of other superstars in the world of professional sports, including Michael and Stephen, the 3 big names covered so far. As we decode, keep in mind the number 137 is the 33rd prime. Kobe equates to 33 in ordinal. Michael equates to 33 in reduction. Stephen equates to 33 in reduction. Superstar equates to 137 in ordinal. Hollywood equates to 33 in reduction. NBA Finals equates to 33 in reduction. And I will show you guys these decodes right now so you can get an idea, or a visual in anyway. Okay. All right. Kobe finished his career with 33,643 points. Wow. Now, let us expand into some other notable examples of the history of scripted sports. As we progress, please understand, you can take the knowledge taught in this chapter and apply it to nearly every professional and collegiate sports event I failed to cover, using the same techniques I reveal, and prove how any specific game was scripted theater, no different than the rest. Okay? With that important point understood, one of the first things you must know is that every collegiate and professional sports competition that can be bet on in Las Vegas or other major gambling center, it has a predetermined outcome, no exceptions. If you're asking in your head, what about The answer is yes, okay? That is why the Las Vegas sports books are so good at calling the lines for games that other bookies follow. It isn't a coincidence that sports announcers often blurt out, "You couldn't have scripted it any better." Instead, it is a statement to mock the viewing audiences, who the scripters see as goyim, and who I write this book for, to enlighten. Absolutely. For everyone who would scoff at the idea of sports being rigged and scripted, you can prove this is factual to yourself by learning and applying the code. Man, as I have, as my students have, and as we have proven numerous times over in the last handful of years, in a resume that builds each day and builds in real time as I write this chapter. Wow. It is fair to state that since I began this research in 2013, I've called more sports championships and individual games with extremely specific details than anyone in the history of the world, and the next in line isn't even close. And yes, that is a completely factual statement without exaggeration. Those who follow my work know, and I've been following Zach's work for over 6 years now. It's been a long time. And I have watched a lot of his decodes, and absolutely a lot of them, more than not, comes through just as the code shows. Absolutely. For this reason, the USA Today's Big Lead became the first mainstream outlet to take a stab at me on January 27th, 2016, referring to me as a conspiracy theorist while mocking what I had exposed about the rigged 96th season of the NFL, where I had explained in October of 2015, months before Super Bowl 50 was played, that the big game would be the Denver Broncos over the Carolina Panthers. Von Miller, number 58, would be the MVP. And there would be a Black Panther tribute, all of which happened. Even more, I discussed how there would be a riddle with Super Bowl 24 in the game, and the Broncos ended up winning with 24 points. We'll get to that prediction ahead, but where I want to start is with college sports, because I know from experience people have trouble believing those incorruptible college youth would ever participate in a predetermined outcome. Not that it is every college athlete in on the rigging, as much as it is the coaches, referees, and select players who are often destined for the professional stage, where they continue their careers as athletic actors. My goodness. And I wanted to show the headline about Zachry K. Hubbard that was written about him, so you can get a visual of that. And they call him a conspiracy theorist. It's a bullshit word when they are actually conspiring against everybody on earth. It's just amazing. Okay. We'll begin with my favorite example to date. The January 2nd, 2016 Alamo Bowl, where the Oregon Ducks led the Texas Christian University Horned Frogs by 31-0 at halftime, before losing the game 41-47. Okay? Starting with the 31-0 lead, Alamo Bowl has reduction gematria of 31. The 11th prime number, a number corresponding to football. The big story in the comeback was the backup QB for TCU, Colhausen, a name summing to 42 in reduction, same as Alamo in Ordinal, who rallied his team from down 31 to a 6-point win 41 to 47, while wearing the number 6 on his jersey. Consider TCU is a Christian school, a word having gematria of 47, like the winning score. Building on the number 42 connection, as we learned, the Christian portion of the Bible is the New Testament, summing to 42 in reduction and beginning with the 42 generations to Jesus. At the same time, the date of the game, January 2nd, could be expressed as 2-1 like 21, and Bible has reduction gematria of 21. To go even further, the TCU mascot, the horned frog, has reduction gematria of 65, the same as Christianity. As for the game summing to 88 points, both Oregon and Purple share gematria of 88. And TCU, the winning team, wore purple for this historic win. Okay? Through much of the 2016 Alamo Bowl, the website of USA Today Sports, the same outlet that mocked my work, kept up the image shown to the left. And I will show you that really quickly here. So you can see 223. Okay. Okay. It is of the Oregon players numbers 22 and 3 celebrating. This was not coincidental. Instead, it was a tribute to the actual Alamo, which began February 23rd or 2/23. In the year 1836, before ending a span of 13 days later, March 6, 1836. Adding to the riddle, as soon as the Alamo Bowl concluded, a standoff would begin in Oregon State. Consider Oregon Psalms 2:232 in Jewish gematria, and February 23rd can be written as 23-2, like 232, which again was the start date of the Alamo. Moments after the news broke, I predicted on YouTube the standoff would last 13 days or 41 days, while explaining why 41 days was highly likely, which is exactly how long it ended up lasting. The purpose of the prediction was to prove to people how the world of sports and news are scripted and intertwined, which it did for many. To understand how I made the correct prediction of 41 days, consider the Alamo was a standoff as well, which took place in Texas, and the Oregon college team had just lost in Texas as the headlines were breaking. Knowing that Oregon lost with 41 points, and the number 41 is the 13th prime, and the Alamo lasted 13 days, and that sports and news are often scripted together, 41 days made a lot of sense because that meant it would conclude on February 11th, the 42nd day of the year, where both Alamo and Waco, another standoff, summed to 42, and further, February 11th can be expressed as 211, much like 211, February 11th will be 211, much like the number 211. The 47th prime, the winning amount for TCU. Wow. Adding to the significance of the number 41 was the fact that the media reported the standoff, a word summing to 41 in reverse reduction, was led by a group of ranchers summing to 41 in reduction, and where the main leader was a man named Ammon Bundy, A-M-M-O-N, Ammon Bundy, also summing to 41 in reduction. Of course, the media mentioned that the protesters were armed with ammo, not too far off from the contrived character named Ammon, which comes from the Book of Mormon. The media also stated that the ranchers were standing up for the nation, or the USA, having gematria of 41, which began with 13 colonies, and you know the rest. Even more, San Antonio, the home of the Alamo, has reduction gematria of 41. Thus, the coding of the number was thorough. As for the town this was taking place in, Princeton, Oregon, it has a population of fewer than 400 people. In other words, it's a ghost town, and it's in the middle of nowhere. Now ask yourself, how did CNN, Fox News, ABC, CBS, NBC, the Huffington Post, and more have a front page story ready to go about this incident as soon as the Alamo Bowl wrapped up? It wasn't like these men seized a building in the middle of New York City. Even worse, the protesters had taken over a closed federal building, the Malheur National Wildlife Refuge, and I'm going to spell that word, Malheur or Malheur, Malheur. Anyway, it was a national wildlife refuge, which was not open for the holidays. Thus, who was there to report? As a reminder, the media only reports on what is part of its contrived agenda, which this was, from start to finish. The purpose of this story was to bring more focus to gun rights, and what the federal government should do about gun ownership and dissidents. Wow. And for the record, Malheur sums to 33, same as federal and false flag, coinciding with Oregon being the 33rd state and Masonry being in control of the script. Wow. Another great example of rigged collegiate sports and contrived news took place with the 2017 March Madness college basketball tournament. Before the games began, I explained why the men's championship would be North Carolina over Gonzaga and why the Carolinas would do extremely well in the tournament overall, which is exactly what happened. My prediction had everything to do with the news story floating around about the bathroom bill, which had cost North Carolina the NBA Star All Game months prior, and which was a story making waves as the college tournament was about to get underway. In case you have forgotten about this piece of legislation, it had to do with who had the right to use the bathroom, or more abruptly put, did the transsexuals have the right to use whichever bathroom they felt more comfortable in. The big joke was having the South Carolina Gamecocks win the women's tournament with the bathroom bill in focus, a team that was called the Lady Cocks many times over on the way to the championship. Think about it. Think about Lady Cocks. That's some BS. My God. As for the men's tournament, in reverse reduction, bathroom bill sums to 71, same as March Madness, and the tournament brackets were announced on March 12th, the 71st day of the year. As I explained then, because the NBA had punished North Carolina over the bathroom bill by taking away the All-Star game from Charlotte earlier in the year, February 19th, they would receive their payback with the scripted college basketball championship that was to be gifted to the Tar Heels, the historic college program that is one of the most winning in NCAA history, on April 3rd, or 43 days later. Of course, Tar Heels equates to 43, and they went on to win the championship game with 71 points. The reason I explained that Gonzaga would be the perfect opponent for them to defeat was because both Gonzaga and Gonzaga Bulldogs have gematria of 71, the number corresponding with Catholic, where Gonzaga is a Catholic and Jesuit university, and it is the Jesuits that are largely that largely control the world of rigged sports and everything else, which Zach does explain in his other books. Yep, but it is the Jesuits. They control everything on this freaking planet. So the word Gonzaga equates to 71 in ordinal. Catholic equates to 71 in ordinal. Gonzaga Bulldogs equates to 71 in reverse reduction. Okay. From this day forward, pay attention to how many professional athletes attended Catholic and Jesuit high schools. Pay attention to how many professional athletes attended Catholic and Jesuit high school as well as colleges. It is an overwhelming percentage. If you pay attention, you'll notice things such as how Pope Francis, the first publicly Jesuit pope, blessed Super Bowl 51, which was played on the 51st day of his age. In that game, the Falcons would lose after a 25-point comeback by Tom Brady and the Patriots, where both Pope and Falcons share reduction gematria of 25, coinciding with the date of the game, February 5th or 2-5, and it being the final game of the 97th NFL season, where 97 is the 25th prime number. Not coincidentally, that was a Super Bowl that featured two quarterbacks, both of whom played for Catholic schools in their journey to the pros, those men being Tom Brady and Matt Ryan. As for the Atlanta Falcons, Arthur Blank owned them at the time, a man sharing the Jesuit order's birthday, September 27. Consider the Falcons also wear red and black, the Jesuit colors, and are located on the 84th meridian west. The number symbolizing Jesuit, the Jesuit order, and the Catholic Church. The Catholic Church equates to 84 as well. Okay, coming back to the significance of March 12th for a moment. I am so sorry I keep getting these words mixed up here. Let me make this a little bigger. Okay. Here we go. Coming back to the significance of March 12th for a moment. The date the 2017 college basketball tournament bracket was put out, and in light of the Catholic Church and Pope Gregory being responsible for the Gregorian calendar, where March 12th or 3/12 is the 71st day of the year. Notice the gematria of Pope, as well as Pope Francis's birth name, Jorge Mario Bergoglio, and how they both sum to 312, not too far off from the date 312. So Jorge Mario Bergoglio equates to 312 in the reverse ordinal cipher. Pope equates to 312 in the Sumerian cipher. So, and of course, you got March 12th or 312, the 71st day of the year. For another parallel to the rigged games, the Jesuits, and the world of planned news, I want to remind of what happened during the build-up to the 2017 championship. Gonzaga and Xavier, the last two remaining Jesuit schools in the men's tournament, faced each other on March 25th, 2017, the 84th day of the year. Again, in gematria, Jesuit, the Jesuit order, and the Catholic Church each equate to 84. During the game, there would be a shooting on the Las Vegas Strip, equating to 84 in reverse reduction. Please don't overlook that Las Vegas is the gambling mecca, okay? Then later that night, after Xavier lost, there would be a shooting in Cincinnati, where the school is located. It was reported in the media that the shooting in Cincinnati was the 71st of 2017. Before moving on from the scripted 2017 men's college basketball tournament, I want to point out a few more important things regarding the championship being on April 3rd, the 93rd day of the year. Dean Smith, summing to 93, in Ordinal, had won the college championship with North Carolina in 93, and he died in recent history February 7th, 2015, the 38th day of the year at age 83, on a date with numerology of 44, murder by numbers. No doubt his death was part of the planned ritual of the rigged championship to come, as I explained to my followers before North Carolina beat Gonzaga. His death wasn't the only ritual in the event, however. During the 2017 tournament, Jerry Krause dropped dead at age 77, corresponding with the reverse reduction gematria of North Carolina. He was the man who had history with Michael Jordan, the former North Carolina standout who won the championship with Dean Smith in 82, and 6 times with Jerry Krause's Chicago Bulls. On the subject of Michael Jordan, who was the owner of the local Charlotte, North Carolina NBA team at the time of the 2017 UNC championship, he was releasing his Air Jordan 11 low UNC Tar Heel blue sneakers on April 15th, days after the scripted win. Consider North Carolina won the championship on Jordan's 46th day of his age, and Chicago has ordinal gematria of 46, while March Madness has reduction gematria just the same. You could also say that North Carolina won the championship 45 days after Jordan turned 54, and Illinois has gematria of 45 as well as 54. Thus, Michael Jordan, a legendary name in the sport of basketball, was a major part of the scripted championship, and his part in their ritual explained why Jerry Krause passed away at age 77 during the time of the tournament. So, the words, these are words now, these numbers are written as words. 45 equals 54 in reduction. 45 equals 45 in reverse reduction. 54 equates to 54 in reduction. 54 equates to 45 reverse reduction. Wow. Also worth mentioning is that a year earlier, North Carolina had lost in the championship to another Catholic program, Villanova. Okay? Later, I will reveal something very fascinating about that championship in light of what had taken place in the news just hours before the championship. But for now, you can know that Villanova won the game with a score of 77 to 74. Of course, you can understand why beating North Carolina with 77 was significant. Further, Villanova is located in Radnor Township, having reduction gematria of 77. At the same time, 77 and 74 are numbers pertaining much to the Society of Jesus, where Christ sums to 77 in ordinal and Jesus sums to 77 in the same method. Thus, the total score was 151 points, corresponding with Jesus Christ. Even more, 151 is the 36th prime number, and Villanova sums to 36 in reduction, who also happened to be in their 36th men's tournament at the time of the championship. Better yet, the championship victory was their 35th win of the season, connecting to the reduction gematria of 35 for Catholic. It was also their 57th tournament win all time, and as you will come to understand, the number 57 is crucial to sports championship, where 57, championship, and Super Bowl each equate to 131 in ordinal. At the same time, World Series sums to 57 in reduction, and NBA Finals total 57 in reverse reduction plus more. And specific to Villanova is the fact that they play at the Pavilion, summing to 131. If you can recall the Villanova championship over North Carolina, it was tied at 74 to 74 with 4.7 seconds left, thanks to a correction in the game clock. Okay. Then moments later, the Villanova point guard I cannot pronounce his person's name. Let me see. Arcidiacono. 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 And if I'm butchering your name, I am sorry, or his name, terribly sorry about that. So, but let me start over. If you can recall the Villanova championship over North Carolina, it was tied at 74-74 with 4.7 seconds left, thanks to a correction in the game clock. Then moments later, the Villanova point guard Ryan Arcidiacono, in his NCAA record 144th straight game, took the ball down the court, passing to Big Smooth, who hit the open game-winning three-pointer. Consider the full name of the point guard. Ryan Curran, C-U-R-R-A-N, Arcidiacono, equates to 108 in reduction gematria, whereas Big Smooth totals 108 in ordinal, same as Villanova. As we know, 108 connects to geometry, which also sums to 36 in reverse reduction, like how it was Villanova's 36th tournament appearance. Ryan Curran Arcidiacono equates to 108 in reduction and 135 reverse reduction. Big Smooth equates to 108 in ordinal and 135 in reverse ordinal. Villanova equates to 108 in ordinal and 135 in reverse ordinal. Dang. As for it being Ryan Arcidiacono's 144th straight game, we have learned that Jesuit order has ordinal gematria of 144, as does April 4th, written as words, which was the date of the accomplishment and championship. And in the case of the Jesuits, from their birthday, September 27, 2015, to the Villanova Championship, April 4th, 2016, was a span of 191 days. As we have also learned, Society of Jesus has ordinal gematria of 191, which is the 43rd prime number. If you look at the box score for the game, you'll notice Villanova scored 34 points in the first half, corresponding with the reverse reduction gematria of Jesus, and 43 points in the second half, connecting to the reduction value of Jesus Christ. Of course, Tar Heels, the team they beat, is a name having gematria of 34 and 43 as well. The difference in values being when you count S as 1 or 10. And to make another point about 144 and the Jesuits, Villanova advanced to the championship by beating Oklahoma 95-51. A difference of 44 points. Excuse me about that. A difference of 44 points, a record margin in the Final Four of the men's tournament, where 44 has ordinal gematria of 144. What else do I need here? Okay. Further, them winning with 95 points reminds that the Jesuits' birthday, September 27, is the day leaving 95 days left in the year, connecting to the gematria of Son of God. Wow. I know that phone call threw off my whole reading. Where did I start at? Okay. And I'm talking about Oklahoma. So I want to just start over just a little bit, and I'm going to start right here. And to make another point about 144 and the Jesuits, Villanova advanced to the championship by beating Oklahoma 95-51, a difference of 44 points, a record margin in the Final Four of the men's tournament, where 44, written as a word, has ordinal gematria of 144. Further, them winning with 95 points reminds that the Jesuits' birthday, September 27th, is the day leaving 95 days left in the year, connecting to the gematria of Son of God. And for one last point on the subject of 44 and the Catholic as well as Jesuit parallels. The championship win avenged Villanova's only loss in the tournament championship, which was in 1971. Okay? Which was in 71, actually. That's the emphasis on 71. As you have learned, 71, written as a word, has ordinal gematria of 144, and it also has a reduction value of 45, connecting to how they avenged the loss 45 years later. At the same time, Catholic has ordinal gematria of 71, and Big Smooth, the man who made the winning shot, is a nickname with a reduction value of 45. Another interesting fact about Ryan Arcidiacono is he was born March 26, 1994, which is the 85th day of the year. In ordinal gematria, basketball sums to 85, and it was 1985 that Villanova had last won the men's tournament championship. Consider, Ryan was 22 years old when he won, and it had been 31 years since Villanova last won. This matters because basketball has reduction gematria of 22 and 31 when S is counted for 10. As for the man who Ryan passed the ball to, Big Smooth, he was born Chris Jenkins, K-R-I-S, Chris Jenkins, a name summing to 85 in reduction when S is counted for 10 and K is counted for 11. Better yet, Chris Jenkins sums to 77 in reverse reduction, and he put in the 77th and winning points of the game. And best of all, it was Chris Jenkins' 137th day of being 22 years old, born November 20th, 1993, where champion has reversed ordinal gematria of 137, the number connecting to superstar, which he absolutely was in the moment. So, I will show you guys the decode right there. Alrighty. So Ryan Arcidiacono equates to 78 in reduction. Marcus Taylor Page equates to 78 in reduction. Marcus Page was the star North Carolina player who tied the game 74-74. Shit. Villanova won the 78th year of the men's tournament, which began in 1939. Wow. This is crazy. Now, I know what you're thinking. How do they make it all line up so perfectly? To begin to answer that question, you have to understand that many of these players are birthed and named accordingly for their planned athletic careers, where the outcomes of these games and championships have been planned for longer than these people playing in the games have been on the face of the earth. And consider, C-sections help an awful lot with this planning. And yes, I know what else you're thinking. What if the players missed the big shot? The answer is technology, including drones and possibly even magnets. On the subject of magnets, the word sums to 474 in Sumerian, reminding of how the score was brought to 74 with 4.7 seconds left. Again, thanks to a correction in the game clock, which had wound down well past 4.7 before being pumped back up. If you go and watch the game tying shot, it really was a miracle. It really was a miracle heave by Marcus Page. You'll also notice that possession began with I can't get this word. Began. I think I need some different glasses. I'm truly sorry. You'll also notice that possession began with 13.5 seconds on the clock, similar to 135, a special number to Villanova and especially to nearby Philadelphia, which we'll get to later in this chapter. To make the point about technology and basketball, let us examine the news story from August 9th, 2017 about the Harlem Globetrotter Bullard, oh my God, a name that might as well be bullshit. Absolutely. What kind of crazy ass name is that? Okay, setting a new sports record by making a bank shot from 210 feet above the rim in a moving helicopter. He'll probably down a helicopter when his time comes to go. People are wickedly crazy. Of course, this story was gematria perfect, where Harlem sums to 57 in ordinal, backboard sums to 57 in ordinal, helicopter sums to 57 in reduction, entertainer sums to 57 in reduction, and trick shot sums to 57 in reverse reduction. The date of the news, August 9th or 8-9, was also right because Harlem Globetrotters equates to 89 in reduction gematria, same as their theme song Sweet Georgia Brown. Further, it was a date with numerology of 54. That was August 9th, 2017. You would add 8 plus 9 plus 20 plus 17 equates to 54. And the word hoop has ordinal and reverse ordinal gematria of 54. And last, it should be noted that Bullard wore number 33 for the Harlem Globetrotters at the time. And both New York and Harlem have reverse reduction gematria of 33. As we have come to understand, the Masons love to put their stamp number 33 on everything that is meant to mock the Goyim, as this story no doubt was. So, the name Bullard equates to 47 reverse reduction. Technology equates to 47 reverse reduction. H counted as 10. Technology equates to 474 in satanic. Magnets equates to 474 in the Sumerian cipher. Wow. And speaking of Freemasons, Villanova won their technology infused championship in 2016 in their 96th season of having a basketball program. As you know, the word Freemason has an ordinal value of 96. At the same time, consider Villanova was established in 1842, where the number 42 also symbolizes Freemason, and the advisors of 42 equate to 96. Further, the head coach of the team was Gerald Taylor Wright, summing to 96 in reduction and 102 in reverse reduction. Fittingly, he won the championship 102 days after his 54th birthday, December 24, 2015. Regarding his age, both Jesuit order and Freemasonic have reduction gematria of 54. You could also say he won it 14 weeks and 4 days after his birthday, not unlike 144. The same rituals persist in college football as we begin to understand with the 2016 Alamo Bowl example. For one of many other examples, in 2017, the star player of college football, Baker Mayfield, summing to 239 in reverse ordinal, won the Heisman Award on December 9th, 2017, exactly 239 days after his 22nd birthday, April 14, 2017, being born in 95. Of course, that was easy to call many months in advance by knowing the code. It was also easy to predict who would win the award the year prior, which was Lamar Jackson, the freshman quarterback at Louisville, who emerged as a star after the death of Muhammad Ali, the man from Louisville. What made that point extra fascinating is the fact both men share the same birthday, January 17th. However, to start 2018, Lamar Jackson's birthday has since been changed to January 7th on some online platforms, including Wikipedia, likely because I have been drawing much attention to this fact, showing how athletes are literally being formed as tributes to history's past and more. Absolutely. So Lamar Jackson equates to 46 in reduction. S counted as 10. Louisville equates to 46 in reduction. Parkinson's equates to 46 in reduction. Phoenix equates to 46 in reduction. And this is where Muhammad Ali died from Parkinson's. All right. Now the headline here, it says, former first round pick, Heisman winner, wow, Rashaan Salam found dead at age 42. So let's give you guys a look at that headline there. Okay. What made Lamar Jackson a lock for the Heisman before it was awarded on December 10th, 2016 was the ritual murder of 1994 Heisman winner Rashaan Salam, who was found dead at age 42, December 5th, 2016, in a Chicago park where both Chicago and Park have ordinal gematria of 46, a number of sacrifice, and a number connecting to Louisville, Lamar Jackson, and Muhammad Ali's cause of death. In addition to the word park, reminding of Parkinson's, consider his age of death, 42, was much like how Muhammad Ali developed Parkinson's at age 42 and was born in 42, in addition to Muhammad Ali summing to 42. Again, this ritual for Lamar Jackson had everything to do with Muhammad Ali, who died June 3, 2016, a span of 191 days before the Heisman Award. The number of the Society of Jesus, who again have much influence over the world of sports and who are known for murdering by the numbers. It should also be noted that Rashaan Salam was a Muslim like Muhammad Ali. And equally as important, the date of Salam's death was the day the Heisman finals were announced, which were 5 total, F-I-V-E. The number summing to 42 in ordinal. So when you write 5 as a word, it equates to 42 in the ordinal cipher. And to take that thought a step further, Salam had won the Heisman 22 years earlier, where 22, written as words, has reverse reduction gematria of 42, similar to how Heisman sums to 42 in reduction when S is counted for 10. At the same time, the word Heisman sums to 33 in reduction, and the date of Salam's passing was one with numerology of 33, and that would be 12th month, 5th day of 2016, but we're adding 12 plus 5 plus 16, that equates to 33. As well as 53, it adds to 53, you would add 12 plus 5 plus 20 plus 16, that equates to 53, where 53 is the 16th prime, corresponding with the year 2016. For another 33, trophy sums to 33 in reverse reduction, as well as 39 in reduction. And Lamar Jackson picked up the award a span of 39 days before his 20th birthday, January 17, 2017. As for him winning it at age 19, Jackson equates to 19 in reduction, and Muhammad Ali had a 19-mile funeral procession in Louisville on June 10th, 2016. As we learned earlier, the number 19 is extremely specific to the Quran. And for one last point, Jackson won the Heisman 84 days before his breakout game, September 17, 2016, where he beat Florida State 63-20. That matters for two reasons. One, the word freshman, which he was, has an ordinal gematria of 84. And two, that breakout game came 106 days after Muhammad Ali died on June 3rd or 6-3, comparing with how the Prophet Muhammad in the Quran lived to be 63 years old. Consider the word prophecy has an ordinal value of 106, since the performance came 106 days after his passing, and because he had his funeral procession in Louisville on June 10th or 10-6, which looks a lot like 106. All right. Also, regarding Salam's passing in Chicago, it should be noted it was the city that drafted Salam in the NFL in '95, and Chicago is also the birthplace of the NFL. Further, his death came a span of 303 days after the NFL Super Bowl 50 won by the Denver Broncos, which is fascinating because Denver is the home of the 303 area code, pairing nicely with the fact that he died on a date with numerology of 33 and finished his NFL career with 33 touchdowns. At the same time, Denver is in Colorado State, and Rashaan Salam was playing football at Colorado when he won the Heisman years earlier. Consider, Colorado has reduction gematria of 38 and ordinal gematria of 83, and the Broncos had won the Super Bowl on the 38th day of the year, February 7, 2016. Wow. Outside of the ceremonies, college football games are rigged by the same code as well, from the championships to the regular season games. Again, if there's Vegas gambling on it, it is scripted. Let's take a moment to examine the last 3 championships at the time of writing this book, all of which featured the college football powerhouse Alabama. We'll begin in 2016, the year I guaranteed Alabama would beat Clemson, winning their 16th title to start 2016, okay? That prediction was easy to make thanks to Derrick Henry, the Alabama running back, winning the Heisman December 12, 2015, precisely a span of 31 days before the national championship, January 11, 2016. This accomplishment mattered because Alabama sums to 31 in ordinal gematria, and it was a clear sign they would take the cake, as they did. And they have a headline here that says, Bama beats Clemson for 4th title in 7 seasons, 47. Number 2, Alabama won its 4th national title in the past 7 seasons by outlasting the dynamic play of Deshaun Watson, and number 1, Clemson, in a 45-40 victory Monday night. So, continuing with the reading. By defeating Clemson, they won their 4th title in 7 seasons, a clear tribute to Freemasonry, right, 47. Okay, better yet, Alabama won the game with 45 points. This mattered for a few reasons. 1, Alabama has reduction gematria of 13, and when you write out 13, it sums to 45. Second, the head coach of the Alabama Crimson Tide was Nicholas Saban, having a first name summing to 45 in reduction when S is counted for 10, and also summing to 45 in reverse reduction. And 3, the word geometry has reduction gematria of 45, and it is the compasses, the instrument of geometry, set at 47 degrees in the Freemason logo, similar to winning 4 out of 7 of the last championships. So, Nick Saban equates to 169 reverse ordinal. 169 square root is 13. Nicholas Saban equates to 233 reverse ordinal. 233 is the 13th Fibonacci number. In light of what we documented about the significance of 57 and championships earlier, it should be noted that Crimson Tide, the nickname of Alabama, sums to 57 in reduction gematria. As you'll recall, when 57 is written out as a word, It totals 131 in ordinal. With that in mind, consider Alabama came to the championship with a record of 13-1 on the season, similar to 131. Whereas Clemson was 14-0 heading into the big game. Something you should know about the number 14 is in sports is you'll often see streaks end on this number 14. This is because the word end has a reduction value of 14. Case in point, the following college football championship played January 9th, 2017 was also Alabama versus Clemson. In that match, Alabama came into the game 14-0 and Clemson entered with 13-1. As I told my followers then, if I was a betting man, I would take Clemson because the 13-1 record was a positive sign for them, just as it had been for Alabama the year prior. Sure enough, Clemson won the game 35-31, and I shouldn't have to tell you why. Alabama went down with 31 points. And he says, and I shouldn't have to tell you why Alabama went down with 31 points. Another positive sign for the Clemson was the fact that the game was played 50 days after Dabo Swinney's 47th birthday, November 20th, 2016. That matters because Dabo Swinney, the head coach of Clemson, sums to 50 in reduction gematria. Further, if you write out 50 as a word, it sums to 66 in ordinal, like the sum of points in the game. And as for them winning with 35, Clemson are the Tigers, a name summing to 35 using the septenary cipher. Man, the awesome stat for that championship was Clemson ran 99 offensive plays, and the winning touchdown for Clemson was scored by number 13, Hunter Renfrow. Not by coincidence, in ordinal gematria, both 13 and Renfrow equate to 99. For another tribute to 13, the winning QB of Clemson, Deshaun Watson, celebrated his 21st birthday, September 24th, 2016, 117 days before the championship. As you know, 13 has reversed ordinal gematria of 117. And here we are talking about Clemson defeating the powerhouse Alabama, equating to 13 in reduction, who again went down with 31 points in the losing effort. 2 years in a row, I told my followers who would win and what numbers to look for, and the numbers landed as expected because it was understood then, as it's understood now. The games are scripted, and this is how. Wow. Of course, my streak didn't end after those two championships. It continued into the third year as well, where I stated it was a clear read Alabama would beat Georgia, and it was all about the number 13 once again. That became especially clear when Donald Trump, number 45, announced he would be attending the game on January 3rd, or 1-3, also 3-1. If you missed the game, Alabama picked up their 13th win of the season in overtime with a 41-yard pass from number 13 to number 6 to win it all. Okay? So, let me read that again here. Alabama picked up their 13th win of the season in overtime with a 41-yard pass from number 13 to number 6 to win it all. Of course, number 41 is the 13th prime, and the number 13 is the 6th prime. Further, Nick Saban picked up his 6th championship at age 66, and Alabama won their 17th title, closing out the 2017-18 season. Consider that by winning the championship, they had then won 5 out of the last 9, not unlike 59, which is the 17th prime number. As for the 13 ritual, it should be noted that Alabama was down 13 points at halftime, 0-13, when backup quarterback number 13, Tua Tagovailoa, and I cannot pronounce his name. I'm just going to spell it. Tagovailoa. Tua T. That's what I'm having a 13-letter name was substituted in for the scripted comeback. If you were following my work then, the comments of my followers erupted online about how the Alabama comeback was definitely underway with number 13 in the game. Down 13, and sure enough, the following was right on the money. Consider the actual name of Tua, T-U-A, is Tunigamauolepola. Okay? Having reverse reduction geometry of 99, corresponding with the ordinal geometry of 13. Who in the hell would give somebody this crazy ass, long ass name? My goodness. As for the abbreviated Tua, T-U-A, it has reduction geometry of 6, like how he threw the winning toss to number 6, picking up Nick Saban's 6th NCAA football championship, and in doing so, tying the former Alabama coach Bear Bryant, who had passed away January 26, 1983, a good year for a football-related death due to football having ordinal geometry of 83. Alright, I bring up the point that the Bear died on the 26th because it factored into Alabama's championship win over Georgia, which was with 26 points, winning 26-23 on a pass where the touchdown was 2nd and 26. Not by coincidence, the name Bear sums to 26 in ordinal, and Bryant sums to 26 in reduction. And Kobe Bryant died the same day Bear Bryant died, except in 2020, and Bear Bryant died in 83. January 26th. Boy. Some crazy shit. Not by coincidence. Okay, I know I started so. The name Bear sums to 26 in ordinal. Bryant sums to 26 in reduction. In light of Saban tying the Bear at championship number 6, consider this entire code is biblical, and Genesis, summing to 666 in reverse Sumerian, begins with man being created on the 6th day in the 26th verse. One more time. Nick Saban picked up championship 6 at age 66. 666. These bastards. Another accomplishment for Saban in the game was becoming 12-0 against former assistant coaches, and it was fitting that he became 12-0 against the Georgia head coach Kirby Smart, who once worked under Saban, because Georgia has reverse reduction geometry of 37, and 37 is the 12th prime number. As for Kirby, he was on his 17th day of being 42 years old when Alabama picked up their 17th title by beating him. Wow. And to take a quick tangent, I'll let you know that I guaranteed there would be a Triple Crown winner in 2015 before any horse races transpired, and I definitely remember that. I remember that. That was because it had been 37 years since the last Triple Crown by affirmed in 1978. What I knew in 2015 is the next Triple Crown winner would be the 12th all time, and once again, the number 37 is the 12th prime, where prime number relationships are crucial. Sure enough, American Pharaoh fulfilled the script on June 6, 2015, a date with numerology of 12. 6 plus 6 equals 12. Okay, as well as 47. 6 plus 6 plus 20 plus 15 equals 47. A favorite number of the gang responsible for the rigging. Completing the date numerology of 47 was the winning jockey Victor Espinoza, born May 23, 1972, a date that can be expressed as 23-5, and which is the 143rd day of the year, corresponding with Scottish rite of Freemasonry. Consider, he was also 42 years old when the Triple Crown feat began, matching the reduction gematria of his surname Espinosa, a Freemason. And Freemason. Further, he was 43 years old when the Triple Crown feat was completed, a number corresponding with the gematria of Masonic. Wow. And with that, I am going to conclude my reading there, and I will continue on page 711 during my next reading, and I hope you can get through the reading without the little mistakes here and there. But I'm hoping that the message is still clear. Gematria is still in full effect. It has been even before they established this country. It's been going on for years and years and years, hundreds of years. So please get the books. Read this information for yourself, and just enlighten yourself to what gematria is, because it is what's taking place and what's still going on. But until then, I will be back shortly to continue in chapter 21, Undeniably Rigged Sports. All right, thank you.